Larry, Fort Worth Memories Museum and Groups, and YouTube at Fort Worth Memories. I just got the notification, so there we are. Good morning to everybody. And I'm going to share this to the internet and to Memories, live videos, and messages. I guess we're in here alone right now. I had a couple of cars that we did the headlights on. I'm by myself today, so in fact I had 3 cars we did the headlights on. So that took about an hour. So on the way into work, the northbound lane of 820 over about Quebec, that area was about where the wreck was. It had to have been a fatality wreck because they had the northbound lane, all the lanes were closed. So I made a live video when I was over there by that. The traffic was already stacked back to 30. Okay, so hope everybody's got a good day planned. We're eating at Parton's Pizza, so if you like pizza, boy, you can't hardly beat that Parton's Pizza. Okay, I think I'm still by myself here. I'm going to wait a little bit till we get people in so I can do the sponsors, and we'll have our morning show. It's probably 90 degrees outside, or 88 something. Let me look at news breaks, see what happened, see what's going on in our world. It might even have that wreck. I'm sure it probably will. Here, a woman was sentenced to 20 years for drug trafficking. That's not enough time. Should have been 50 years. 20 years, I think they get out in 5 or 6 years. If you're caught selling drugs to anybody, you ought to be. We don't have enough prisons to lock them up for life. Texas oil tycoon Timothy Dunn, Crown Quest operating. He gave $5 million to the Mike Rogers. He's running for Michigan's open seat. That must be against somebody in that squad or something up there. Attorney General Ken Paxton announces launch to modernize child support system. That ought to be of interest to the people on our political group. for sure. They always are complaining. So I just shared it to the political group. Well, there's nothing in there about that wreck. And there's still nothing. So now the redistricting in Texas has Newsom mocking Vice President Vance. So the scuttle is the scuttlebutt is President Trump needs more Congress people because he feels he's going to lose some in the House or the Senate. I'm not sure which. And so some people are saying Abbott and Trump are in cahoots to do these redistricting maps that are either not approved or hadn't been shown, whatever. Now there's a real important vote coming up. There's nothing on there. Tuesday is this city council deal. And I normally don't put posts. Well, if people will act correctly, I've only had to get rid of 2 people so far. If you can just give us your opinion, it's a pretty doggone, it's not a pretty doggone, it's a huge deal. From what I've read, and I by no means am an expert on any of that stuff, if the mayor and city council vote to keep DEI, then a possibility of $277 million from the federal government goes away. And for those of y'all that think Trump doesn't take money away, check with those colleges and different deals. When he tells them to do something, they don't do it. He jerks your money away. So the city council is a slight favor into, we're supposed to be nonpartisan, but it leans liberal. Now, Maddie is conservative by all means, but it's going to be real interesting to see how Maddie votes, to see how Carlos Flores votes. Now, I've also been told by people that are supposedly in the know that between the new city manager and the city council and mayor, they've come up with a deal that basically renames the deal so it doesn't say DEI. Surely you people don't think that you can pull the wool over on the Trump administration. That's not going to work. People have tried it already. I researched it. And guess what? No money. Brittany's in. Finally I got somebody in. Brittany, it's me and you, gal. So it's a real important. I was trying to get Bud Kennedy on, but he is on vacation. Good. He needs a vacation. But it's a real important deal, and it's coming up Tuesday. Now, they can still kick the can down the road, but I don't think that'd be advisable. People are already upset. It was supposed to have been handled in June, and then they took a month off. So it affects everybody. My opinion is if people need some help, we need to help. But like every government program, I feel there's a lot of misuse in it. So how do you hire people to be the watchdogs And maybe they're on the abuse. I don't know. But we need to keep a close eye on it. A bunch of y'all have weighed in on it. Just keep those comments civil, because if you get radical on us and start going off the wall and cussing and stuff, two things happen. You're banned from the group, and whatever you mentioned is gone forever. So don't let your emotions come out in hateful speech or try to bully somebody. Or I had one guy yesterday just said, F the government. Well, of course, naturally he got booted. Somehow he sent a message. I thought when I booted you, oh, it was on Messenger. And he said, hey, I just let my emotion, I mean, there's no comebacks. When you're kicked off any of the memories groups, you're gone. History. And I've either not accepted or kicked off. I thought it was 30,000. Scott told me last week it's 33,000 since we started. So we police our group real well. And I started posting some city government and county government posts to get y'all's feeling, because I can assure you, all the city council members and the mayor and the county commissioners, they all follow this group. There's no way they can't. We're too powerful. So they want. I've had in the past several times political people say, "Hey, Larry, before y'all start going crazy on your group about something, give us the opportunity to address it." And I do. But I feel like, from what I've been told from different people, that they're going to try to hoodwink us and the federal government. That won't work. I can assure you it won't work. And I, for one, will not be happy at all with that. Like I say, I'm for helping people. And I'm for helping minorities and women-owned businesses get started, although nobody ever helped me. And I was in as big a minority group as any, family full of gangsters, and my record was not clean. But I didn't ask the city council, the members, county commissioners, none of them for anything. Don't get me wrong, I've had a lot of people, many people help me every day. They've helped with this bicycle giveaway. They've helped me acquire things for the museum. I've got a lot of friends. What I don't like is what I'm hearing about this DEI, that they're going to vote on Tuesday. I've been told point blank they're going to rename it Mumbo Jumbo. And do y'all think the Trump administration is dumb? You're making a huge mistake. I researched it all last night. There's been several different cities, not as large as ours, try it, and guess what happened? No money. You don't think he won't pull the money? Ask any of those universities up there. Brown, Columbia. So, any of the mayor, city council listening, like I say, I'm for helping, but I'm not for somebody trying to hoodwink our government or our citizens. So those posts are on the main group, and you know what? If you say, hey, you're not supposed to do that, well, I'm doing it. In the past, I don't do it very often. We have a political group, but this is a major vote, and all of y'all need to be aware of it, regardless of which side you're on. And I can assure you of another thing. You can follow up with this. The government has a 100% success rate. That's from the federal government all the way down. success at what? Every program they've ever come up with has been a failure. Every single one of them. So yeah, I'm upset about it because I think politicians that have told me, hey Larry, we're gonna work this out and that out, and they try to overtalk me, and we're gonna call it Bob's Helping Hand or something. I came in the mail, but not this morning's. So yeah, I'm not happy about it. I mean, there's been so much corruption in all these programs, and so the people that are supposed to be the watchdogs are corrupt too. We've seen this when Elon Musk was working with Trump. You know, another thing, 70% of all federal employees from COVID to now work from home. I wish I could do a job like that. Y'all just pay me for 10 details a week and I'll stay out there in the country. I ain't got no problem with that. I'm 70-something years old and I come down here 6 days a week and work. And the people that don't like what I'm saying, hey, you know what? You've got your opinion and I've got mine. But I can tell you, don't try to hoodwink us. That's not going to work. Because guess what? I get to talk about y'all morning, noon, and night. And I went through this program with the last judge, y'all remember. I had to rename that person because Facebook, they got the Facebook to shut me down. But that's when we had about 75,000 members. We're considerably more. So I hope y'all had a good month off, and I hope you don't try to kick it down the road, kick the can down the road again on Tuesday. Everybody's going to be watching. In fact, can you live stream that thing? If you can, it'll be on every channel I've got, which is over 200,000 people. Okay, let's do our sponsors, and then we'll move on. We're eating at Parton's Pizza, Cherry Lane. All Blue Mountain cafes are sponsors, and we just ate at one of them last Saturday. Dickey Car Sand and Gravel. If you're in the building business and you need some sand, my friend Richard Carr and his wife Pat can send you a couple of hundred dump truck loads of it. Great people, Pat and Richard I'm honored to call them my friends. They're always there to lend a helping hand no matter what. Grateful for Your Trees. That is Richard Carr's nephew, Dickie Carr. They do everything to do with trees. You can call Dickie out there and say, that oak tree over there, I want you to cut it down, grind the stump down, and make firewood out of it. He can do it. They do much more than just tree work. They do retaining walls, bobcat work, flower beds. There ain't much this company doesn't do. I've interviewed Dickie several times. He's a great guy. Please tell him Larry said to call. Swartz and Hanson, Jerry Swartz and his partner. I think they've been with me 10 years. They're in the architectural business. State Farm Insurance, Jenny Stewart. Dub Peacock's A-Bird, AC, and Heating. So if you think that your unit is not putting out like it used to, you know, we just always assume everything's going to work. For $95, you call A-Bird, AC, and Heating. They send one of their experts out. It's a good time for you, and they let you know if there's not a problem. They tell you. So it's pretty cheap preventative maintenance. Old South Pancake House has been in the Benson family since 1962. I actually did a lot of work for Dave Benson for many, many years. There's 2 locations. The one on University is open 24/7. You can get breakfast at 4 o'clock in the morning or 12 at night. The one in Burleson closes at 9 or 10 at night. Steve Coburn, Coburn's Catering. They've been over there on North Plains since 1946. Steve is the third generation. He does a great job. Your party or event cannot be too large for them. They do the stock show every year, so that's a couple of 100,000 people. Clay Winstead. Winstead Paint and Body is on White Settlement Road, 1 block west of Roberts Cutoff. I've been using Winstead for a paint and body shop for 43 years. I looked it up. Optimus Club of Fort Worth. This is an international organization, but the one that we do business with, they sell the Christmas trees on University during the holiday season, the day after Thanksgiving, and we give away bicycles on the backside of Farrington Field. Jeff Norman runs that group, and they provide the museum with a Christmas tree every year, which is probably a couple of $100. And then one of our members, Ginger Sanders, does a great job decorating it. She's decorated our tree for many years. Sometimes I don't ever give credit. Everybody says, well, we only see you. Well, there's 2 IT guys, Scott and then another person. And then we've got all kinds of other help. All the members and the volunteers of the bike giveaway, the weekly luncheons. We've got 2 ministers, Bill Palmer, James Vincent, that we say a prayer. Well, I could say we say a prayer at every event. They were both out last week, and I failed to say the prayer. So put that one on me. Fort Worth Lumber. They are down on Interstate 35 South. Huge complex. I was just down there 2 months ago. I took one of the guys that works for me out in the country, and we bounced some ideas, or he did, Miguel bounced some ideas off of some people down there that know about building different structures. K-Ranch Roofing. Jorge Hernandez, he's been our roofing sponsor for many years. So with all of the high winds, hail, minor dents, minor dings, door dings, they do all of that. Not door dings, but roof damage, you know. So if you think you might have had roof damage, call them. You'll get Bree. She's the office manager, and she'll send somebody out that's good for you and good for them. They'll inspect your roof, and it's for free. Brandon Cross Electric, he does residential and commercial. When I post his information, Manny Ramirez immediately jumps on it. He's used him several times, and I don't know if that's just in the personal or the county. I assume that's probably county business too. Raines Plumbing. In fact, I just talked to Mrs. Raines 15 minutes ago. They are a privately owned company. They take real pride in seeing that their jobs are done right and that the customers are happy. Robert Rivera just used them recently. 2 or 3 of our members just used them in the last 30 days. Brad with Termite King Pest Control. He's been in the pest control business forever, and he's got all kinds of plans where you pay by the month, by whatever, by the year. They work with everybody. Charlie Guerin's Railhead Barbecue. I talked to Charlie yesterday. He was down in Austin. They have a special session down there. Charlie is on the board of directors of Larry's Kids, and he's also our state rep. And we eat at the Railhead pretty often. Rex's Bar and Grill is in the old Macaroni Grill. Scott, 2 out of 5 cameras do not work. In fact, I think 3 out of 5. Let's see, that one works and that. 3 out of 5 don't work. Whenever you get through with your convention, middle of the week, whatever. Anyway, Charlie Guerin, Railhead Barbecue. Charlie brought in Sid Richardson Foundation. He brought in Walmart money. He brought in the people that run the Texas Lottery, International Gaming Technology. Charlie came in second only to me on raising money, and he brought in a lot of money. He brought in three $5,000, four $5,000 donors. Okay, so if you're looking for good barbecue, and believe me, Fort Worth has many good barbecue places. I haven't ever eaten at one that's not good, really. Rex's Bar and Grill. That's the old macaroni grill. We had our birthday party there 3 weeks ago today. We had our undisputed welterweight champion of the world. There's only two men can say that. Our own Donald Curry and one other guy. I'm talking about Sugar Ray Robinson, all of these other guys. Donald held WBC, WBA, and IBF all at the same time. And Donald and Bruce Curry were the first two brother tandem to be world champions at the same time. Dana Lang. Dana sells Cowtown. She's in the real estate business. She's also very knowledgeable about Fort Worth. Our Medicaid and Medicare sponsors, and that stuff is changing every minute, is American Senior Benefits of North Texas, Andrew Wallace and Chasen, C-H-A-S-E-N, Smith. Bond, B-O-M-B-O-N. That's Mark Perez, and Mark spells his name P-E-R-A-Z-Z. Home remodeling, handyman, all of that stuff. Mark can take care of it. Fort Worth Florist. Jeanette and her team have sent flowers all over the world for our members, and she says she's done a lot of Fort Worth Memories members. Our Legal Beagles are Varghese, Somerset. I interviewed Tiffany Burks many times. Christy Jack is another heavyweight. She's in that same firm. They've got about 25 or 30 lawyers, and they'll sue somebody for you, or if you're charged with capital murder, they can defend you there too. Stroud Auto Supply. Danny Stroud and his wife, second generation. Baltimore City, Riverside area. Phelps Family Auto Care, Burleson area. Mike Phelps and his wife came over a couple of occasions, and they're great people. Eric Walsh. Eric is in real estate, he's in development, and he's also on the board of directors, Larry's Kids. Stinger's Bar and Grill is the old Mark Dean Barbecue in Hazel, and it's a great setup. Rockwood Golf Court, Go-Kart and mini golf. On not this Saturday, next Saturday, all go-kart rides are $1. I suggest you get there super early. So we need all kinds of sponsors. There is not a media outlet that can match our numbers. We hover at 4 million. Today we're at 4,300,000 views in the last 28 days. That breaks down to right at about 150,000 views per day, which breaks down to 5,952 views every hour, or 99 views every minute of the day for 28 days. Our makeup chemistry is 62% women, 38% men. 65 years and older is 46%. 55 to 64 is 24%, and then the rest is younger. We're starting to get a lot of younger people. So our engagements, Google it. That's somebody that likes something we posted, or that now this is all stuff that I post. Doesn't even count your post. Engagements are somebody likes a post, shares a post, makes a comment. Is 401,300 in the last 30 days. That's 14,400 and something every day, or 597 engagements every hour, or 9.9 every minute. Cost is $1,500. Most effective advertising you can buy. Okay, Brittany, we've got Burleson on. We had a meeting yesterday. How many are they down? This sounds like it won't be it. They're down 5 bikes. This is not a question, this is your opinion. And it has to do to Fort Worth because this is the last place he ate. You're talking about the Kennedy assassination? Is that, I could talk about that for a week. My uncle Jack White was on the Warren report, which is just a cover-up. It was a cover-up. My opinion, LBJ along with another handful of players they're the ones that came up with it. You got to go back to 1950. The problem with the CIA and President Kennedy, he and Allen Dulles did not get along at all. In fact, Kennedy once publicly said he would love to splinter the CIA into 1,000 pieces and scatter it over the ocean. Eisenhower actually put some CIA people into Vietnam, but John Kennedy in May of '61 put 500 special advisors, whatever they called them. They were black ops guys. At the end of '62, Kennedy had 11,000 in there. At some point, Jack Kennedy and his brother Robert and other powers to be figured out they were getting hoodwinked also and was going to stop the Vietnam War. He had put a pullout date of all troops out by 1960. He said, if I'm reelected by the end of my first year in '64, all troops will be out of Vietnam, and we had a lot of troops. Well, the Gulf of Tonkin resolution is what gave LBJ the broad authority, and it was a broad stroke of doing anything he wanted to do in Vietnam. But all of this stuff is already orchestrated. If people really knew what goes on in government, lobbyists, there's probably, I think they think there's 13,200 lobbyists actually registered. They're the people that run the country, because they're the ones that give all of these $5 million loans. They get all of this money together. So if you think that the president and Congress is running the country, you feel different than I do. The lobbyists, the wealthy people run the world. That's all my opinion. My mother gave me a book one time, and I've never been able to find it. But it basically said there's 4 families that run the world, and I believe it. The Rothschilds were one of them. When you go and see who the richest people in the world are, they don't ever talk about the Rothschilds. They own the banking systems in 70 countries. So we're going to charge you, I'll do a follow-up this afternoon from the house, but we're going to charge you $2 on that. And please, Burleson, y'all need to try to start doing Fort Worth or Tarrant County. This is now, every day you've called in with a question, every day it's not been about Fort Worth or Tarrant County. But to answer your question, I think LBJ and Carlos Marcello out of New Orleans, Traficante, and Sam Giancana had a whole lot to do with the assassination. But you know, there was a long list. You got the pro-Castro people, the against Castro people. The Bay of Pigs fiasco, they tried to nail that on John Kennedy. He did not start that. It was already in works. When he figured out they were getting hoodwinked to start with, because the deal that we made, the CIA made, Alan Dulles, was that we're going to help y'all overthrow Castro. Well, he knew the forces he sent in there, there's no way they're going to overthrow him. So they were set up to fail to start with. So when the president figured he got hoodwinked, he pulled the air support to keep even more American people getting killed. So that was not on John Kennedy. One of the first things that LBJ did, this is real important, when they got back from Dallas, he signed a bill. John Kennedy had signed a statement or a fact-finding thing, whatever you call it, to start the pullout of troops. He set a date for the first 1,000 to come out. LBJ signed a bill saying the Vietnam War is going to continue. And we weren't even in the Vietnam War with full support of armed forces in '63. We had advisors over there, CIA Black Ops guys. LBJ is the one that put all the boys in there that got killed. And it's all for, I told y'all a minute ago about the CIA. They set up more governments. The guy Muammar Gaddafi, we put him in power. The guy in Iraq, Saddam Hussein, we put all of those nut jobs. We're the ones who put them in power because they were a puppet government run by the Secret Service. Secret Service has a bunch of crooks in it. I hope none of them are listening. I want to live to see tomorrow. My uncle Jack White. You can go to YouTube and put JFK. You can put Jack White /JFK. He's the one that proved the backyard photo with the gun and the rifle was fake. He even proved the Zapruder film was fake. That Warren Commission was just a cover-up, so we the people wouldn't try to overthrow the government, because they just assassinated our own president. In fact, in my opinion, I always say things happen every 100 years. 1865, the government killed Abraham Lincoln. I'm fully in agreement that happened. 98 years later, they killed our president, John Kennedy. Okay, so we're eating at Parton's Pizza. What else can I tell you? There's Ginger. I was just bragging on you. Brittany, what is C3B5? Oh, I see what you mean. Yeah. Well, let's charge them. I'm going to do a follow-up, so let's charge them 2. So Burleson owes us 7. Cleveland owes us 3. And so let's talk about the bike giveaway. It's December 13th this year. It's on a Saturday. We always have 40 to 50 volunteers. We need 100. The goal is 1,400. The nonprofit is going to buy 1,000 bikes. So that means I need 400 from y'all. Farrington Field, Billingsley Fieldhouse side. Gates will open at 6:30 or as close to it as we can. And we're done by 11. We have 4 lines of cars. It goes quick. Oh yeah, Jack Ruby, I really believe that was not pre-planned. Jack Ruby had this little dog, and I mean, you know how I am with Peppo? Jack Ruby was that way with that dog. So Little Lynn, who's a stripper, I interviewed her several times. She lived in River Oaks. She worked for Ruby at the Carousel, and she worked for my dad at the Skyliner. She lived in River Oaks. Jack Ruby closed the Carousel and the Vegas Club. The Carousel was the strip club. The Vegas Club was just a dance club. When the day that Kennedy got assassinated, he closed his clubs the whole weekend. Little Lynn called him and said, "Hey Jack, you closed the clubs. I got to have money for groceries." So he said, "I'll send you $25 or $20 tomorrow morning, Western Union." So he packed his little dog up, got in the car, went down to Western Union. The transfer was stamped 11:07 that morning. He looked outside, getting ready to go to his car, and he saw all these news trucks. The Dallas police station was 2 blocks away. And so he figured out then they're moving Oswald. And Jack carried a gun with him everywhere. And they were originally going to move Oswald in an armored car because they thought people might try to kill him. When they were backing it down that ramp, the service ramp, the air conditioning ducts hung down too far. So the 2 policemen that were guarding the ramp walked out in the middle of the street to stop traffic to escort the armored car out. Jack Ruby walked down, and the rest is history. I think really the reason, I don't think it was on anybody's orders. I think he wanted to spare Jackie Kennedy from coming back to Dallas. There was a guy named Weinstein that ran an ad, half-page ad in the Dallas Morning News or Times Herald the day the president was here, and it said President Kennedy is a traitor, treasonous, and all this stuff. And Ruby was up at the newspaper putting his ads in for the strip club and the dance club, and that really offended him. He said, "I can't believe a Jewish person would do that." But that's just my opinion. I can tell you this for a fact, we're no closer today than we were the day it happened. Okay, so Mario's in, Ginger's in, Gene is in. Gene, you gonna come eat pizza? Monty is in. Brittany, no, you don't need to call partners. We just kind of show up. Richard Johnson's in. His wife Mary Ann is back eating with us. She's out of rehab. We probably will see James Van Zant today. He was rehabbing for the last couple of weeks. Joyce is in. Good morning. There's our friend Wes Williams. Wes sells real estate. You see him everywhere. He's also on the board of directors of Larry's Kids. He also is one of the ones that has helped immensely over the years. There's Pat and Richard Carr are in. George Worley, Brittany, and me. Hold on. One more question. Who's it from? Was I ever in the penitentiary? No. I'm the only family member, male, that lived to be over 40 from 200 years ago. All the rest of them lead poisoning. Okay, I will leave here. Let's see, Partons is out. I'll leave here about a little after 12. Don't forget, it's very important. On those 3 posts on the big group, let your mayor and city council know how you feel. And I mean, I'm not saying we don't help anybody. I'm just saying if it's business as usual, just a different name, that ain't gonna work. You can assure yourself that I will talk about you morning, noon, and night for a while. There's too much graft. Now, Elon Musk and them, when him and Trump were kissing cousins, look at all those people they got rid of, and everything's still running. No, I don't detail on Saturday. I just did 3 cars headlights though this morning. When Kennedy left, at the end of '62, there was 11,300 troops in Vietnam, and they were still called advisors. LBJ started sending the troops that were our military, which was what they were all along. That was from the Gulf of Tonkin resolution. That gave LBJ, or the president, the country, a broad stroke on how to deal with Vietnam. But hey, all of these places, it's either the United States put them in power, or China, or Russia, or Soviet Union. There's about 4 powerhouses, and that's it. We're the ones doing it. We've had presidents come in and said, oh, we're not nation building anymore. Yeah, BS, they are. If we're not nation building, why are we in all these countries handing out money, and you don't have to fill out an application for it either? Thank you. How long have I been on the air? A while. Oh, you mean this morning? I don't know. 30, 40 minutes, maybe an hour. I do Monday through Friday and Saturday. I do Sunday. I try not to come down here. But I can tell you this, I'm in my 70s and I work every day, whether I'm here or at home. And the government has never given me 1 quarter, nothing, never. And I don't want nothing from them either. Gangsters in Cowtown will start as soon as Scott gets back. They rented the Arlington Convention Center for some kind of game playoff, like the World Series or whatever these kids play on these games. And Scott's a big shot in that deal. How many lobbyists? There's 13,100 registered, but there's probably 20,000. That's right, I am a workaholic. I couldn't stand it. I'll never retire. I can't stay at home and just sit there and talk to Peppo. You can't do that. But one day I won't be on here, and I'm working on somebody that will take over, and it's a lady, and she's super smart. She's not as vocal or outspoken as I am, but I think she'll do a great job. She knows history. She studies it now every day. Yes, I'm on the Tarrant County Historical Commission. And to my knowledge, we hadn't done anything since I've been on it. I mean, that I haven't been involved in any vote, but we've got some stuff coming up. Farms, and best bet's get a hold of Wes Williams. At one point, that's what, are you buying or selling? It's not you. Call Wes Williams, message him. He knows all that stuff. It's not in Texas. I don't know, call him, message him. It's your cousin. Well, have your cousin message him. He's super knowledgeable. Okay, what else? Anybody else got anything? The Joe T's land card interview, it didn't happen. Yes, she knows Fort Worth history. She teaches it. in the past. She doesn't now. But hey, don't get excited. I ain't planning on going nowhere anytime soon. I might outlive some of the people that are on here. Hell, they've tried to kill me 2 or 3 times. It ain't happened yet. Okay, what else was I going to tell y'all? I can't think. The Rangers, I don't know if the Rangers won last night, but they were fairly close. They were 5.5 games out. I don't know how that's going to work. But I told everybody Dak Prescott, he's already out 2 or 3 weeks. How stupid is Jerry Jones? And now he don't want to pay Michael Parsons. I think what he's going to do is just wholesale get rid of the team and then turn it over to Steven, and he knows Steven won't be able to. Why don't Elon Musk buy the team? I'm for that. And then hire somebody that knows what the hell they're doing. Because it ain't Jerry Jones. But their first game is August the 9th. They play LA, and I don't even know where LA is anymore. Are they still in Los Angeles, or are they the ones in Las Vegas? That shows you how much I keep up with them. Parker's Pizza. Okay, boys and girls, y'all be kind to each other, and when you go in the big group on that DEI deal, just keep your comments civil, and there's no problem. But I can assure you, if our council and mayor think they're going to hoodwink Trump and his team, that ain't going to work out, in my opinion. I mean, I believe they're all pretty smart people, but Trump is already thinking about the 3rd year of this term. He's not even concerned right now with this deal. Okay, gotta go. Love all of you. Use our sponsors. They're great people.